Look, we always try to get a theme which will then also structure our year. So last year it was subtle differences. This year it's devoted to the highest standards, because I think that is what's driving us, the details. And it's the sum of all the details that makes for us a great watch. And sometimes it's a struggle, it's not like it all comes together at once. It'll take a while, and it's almost like a milling process. Only at the end you see the full setup. And I think the watches that we present this year are a perfect example of that devotion to the highest standard. It's 3 this year, really. And they all play a different role. And funny enough, I have to start with the face of our Lange Söhne, which is the Lange 1. A watch that even took me by surprise, because if you see the Grand Lange 1 in the flesh, in real, I was flabbergasted to see the difference to the previous Grand Lange 1, or even to the traditional Lange 1. Make it a little thinner. There's almost no space between the crystal and the dial, or the back crystal and the movement. It looks like there is no crystal in it, and that makes it a very different appearance. So for me, the Grand Lange 1 was the biggest surprise of the 3 as they were presented for the first time. Without saying, the titanium Odysseus with, again, a different dial, not only in color, but also in structure. The structure of the dial is again different to the white gold and to the steel watch. The finish of the bracelet is different to the steel. And I have to admit, I'm wearing it now for a while. It is very comfortable, because you literally don't feel it. And then we come to, horological, for sure the highlight of this year's collection, the Richard Lange Minute Repeater. A very slim watch, 39 millimeter in diameter, with quite a few patterns in it. As Germans, we always protect everything, and in this case, we protect the very delicate mechanism of a minute repeater. So, for example, you can't pull the crown when the minute repeater is active, and you can't activate the minute repeater once you pulled the crown, because that's usually the best recipe to destroy the mechanism. So things like that are all in it. What can I add? It's the first time that we do a dial, an enamel dial, fully in-house. So even the printing, everything has been done in-house, and I believe the result speaks for himself. It is spectacular, I have to say. There are little secrets in it, similar to the Zeitwerk, but again, we lifted it to another level. So for example, the gong, if it hits the bell, it only does it once very slightly, and then it goes back mechanically, not like a spring lever. It goes back immediately, so there is no second contact with the gong, which is very important, because that's the best way to distort the clear tone. So, the favorite watch, it's always a difficult question. It's like the favorite child, which also is a tricky question. If you look at the 3 watches, for me, it has to be the minute repeater, because horologically, that for sure is, the benchmark out of these 3 watches, because, it took us years to produce. It is really totally new. Movement A to Z, patented mechanism, in-house made dial. So there are a lot of first time in this watch. But at the price point, which we shouldn't forget is pretty high, if you take that aside, I think the Grand Lange 1 will be a spectacular success, because again, you will see it later on, it really looks different. And it looks very exciting. It looks like there's no crystal covering the dial, which I think is a phenomenal little detail.